Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my show. I am your host, the J-Man, and I'm here to bring you my UFC 109 video review. Let's talk about all the results and everything that happened last night at UFC 109. Let's get right to it. Here I am on MMAplayground.com. All right. As for all the results of my predictions, let's take a look right now. I ended up becoming I received 22 points total, rank 3,701. Let's take a look at the details. Okay, based on the results from last night's fight, we're going to start out. I'm going to give you the result of Mike Swick versus Paulo Thiago and their welterweight fight at 170 pounds. I chose Paulo Thiago to win via judge's decision, split decision. Paulo Thiago was able to win, but he won in the second round via submission day-arc choke. Therefore, I earned 5 points for that by choosing Paulo Thiago. Okay, now, this was a very exciting fight. Both men were highly aggressive. Mike Swick looking for revenge because Paulo Thiago had defeated his teammate from American Top Team, Josh Koscheck. Mike Swick stepped up, and being the aggressive kickboxer striker that he is, that's exactly what he did. He came at Paulo Thiago full force, throwing lots of punches, but also some nice leg kicks. Thiago was responding very well with punches and kicks of his own. It was, like I said, it was a very energetic fight. What happened was, in the second round, Mike Swick was exchanging with Thiago. I think he got a few hits on Thiago, but Thiago ended up connecting with a left hook, sent Mike Swick to the ground. There, Mike Swick tried to he did put on an underhook, and that was a mistake because Thiago was then able to lock on the D-arc choke, and that sealed the deal. Submission victory for Thiago. Being a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Thiago wanted to choke out Mike Swick, as he said in the interview, and he was able to do that very easily. So another win for Thiago, and it looks like Thiago is now, in my opinion, the top contender at 170 pounds. The only other guy that would challenge him for a title shot would be John Fitch. But other than that, I'd say Paulo Thiago is probably the best welterweight in the UFC, right underneath George St. Pierre. Okay, moving on to the next fight. I'm going to talk about the co-main event of Chael Sonnen versus Nate Marquardt at 185 pounds. Okay, Nate Marquardt was the favorite going into this fight. If Nate Marquardt had won, or if he did win, he would have earned himself a title shot. The fight was billed as #1 contender spot, so therefore either man who win would go on to get a title shot against Anderson Silva. However, in my opinion, I don't feel that Chael Sonnen would have deserved the title shot if he had won, having been defeated by Damian Maia just recently. Okay, so I chose Nate Marquardt to win in second round by knockout. What happened was Chael Sonnen earned the victory by judge's decision unanimously. It was, of course, a very well-contested 3-round fight. Actually, Chael Sonnen was very dominating, where he was able to completely out-wrestle Nate Marquardt. Chael Sonnen imposed his will and basically just kept taking Marquardt down and keeping him down. Chael was able to land a lot of strikes. Not a lot of damage, but it was cumulative damage. Marquardt just couldn't do anything. He couldn't get up, couldn't escape. He was able to get some counter strikes in, a nice elbow that cut Chael open. It looked like the fight might have been stopped from that cut, but they kept it going. Even though Chael was bleeding really bad, he just continued to dominate Marquardt on the ground. Had Marquardt been able to get up and keep it standing, I think that he could have finished Chael via knockout, but that was not the case. Chael kept it on the ground, and even though Marquardt late in the third round had a chance of winning by when he had Chael, he actually had Chael in the guillotine. He almost finished him, but Chael remained calm and was able to squeeze out of the guillotine and go on to the decision victory. So congratulations to Chael Sonnen. Wonderful fight. I'm going to say it was the best fight of the night, and it also earned the $60,000 bonus by given out by Dana White. Okay, let's move on to the Matt Serra versus Frank Trigg fight at welterweight. I chose Matt Serra to win via round 3 knockout. Matt Serra ended up winning round 1 with a knockout. As expected, Matt Serra won the fight. Frank Trigg just fell victim to Matt Serra's striking. Frank Trigg probably was the better wrestler. We didn't get to see a lot of that. But looks like Frank Trigg is going to have to forfeit his job at the UFC because I don't think he can contend with the top guys in the welterweight division anymore. But Matt Serra is definitely still in there. Let's move on to the next fight. It was Dan Miller versus Demian Maia at 185 pounds. I chose Demian Maia to win via submission in round 2. Demian Maia won by unanimous decision. It had to go 3 rounds. And Demian Maia gets the victory there. All right, on to the main event. It was Mark Coleman versus Randy the Natural Couture at 205 pounds. Randy Couture was the favorite going into the fight. I said that Randy would win via judge's decision, unanimously. I had in the back of my head, I thought that Mark Coleman had a chance of knocking out Randy. What actually happened was Randy was able to outstrike Coleman, out-wrestle Mark Coleman, and just like I predicted, Randy was able to control the speed of the fight and just dominated Coleman all over, on the standing and on the ground. He was pounding on Mark on the ground and got on Mark's back and was able to apply the rear naked choke and submit Mark Coleman early in the second round. So Randy Couture goes on to greatness. In my opinion, I think Randy doesn't go very far in the light heavyweight division just based on this victory. He needs to beat some guys that are higher ranked. I say match up Randy Couture with maybe Keith Jardine or even Thiago Silva. But Mark Coleman, I think he still has what it takes to fight a couple guys in the UFC. I'd like to see him fight that grudge match with Tito. I don't necessarily believe that Mark Coleman is washed up. And I'd like to see more fights with Mark Coleman. Randy Couture has a decent future in the light heavyweight division. You know, maybe a rematch down the road with guys like Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. I don't see Randy Couture earning a title shot or being able to contend with the top guys in that division. I just don't think he has what it takes. But all in all, it was a good show. It was entertaining and I enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give me your comments. And I'll see you later.